Hey, this is Sue Tai, and I'm with my girl Jenn from BK on Ladies First.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Jenn from BK, and I am here at Ladies First, fresh off the new year. I have a very, very special guest, my first special guest for the new year. You know, on Ladies First, I actually have people from all walks of life. You could be an actor, musician, and in this case, I have an actual artist, Sue Tai. What's up, Sue?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course, and welcome.
Thank you.
I'm a big, big fan of your work, as of a ton of people out there. I'm sure I'm not the only one. You might know Sue Tai for the work she's done with Wale on his cover for Bad, and we'll talk about that later. But I kind of just wanted people to get to know you, Sue Tai, the person, the artist, and how did you, get into the industry? Why did you fall in love with art and all the good stuff?
So basically, I've been doing art my whole life. I grew up around it. I've always been super creative, so I was always illustrating. I didn't take art really seriously until maybe about 3 years ago when I actually made a painting for a friend, and it was a gift. And I ended up posting it online, and it went super viral, and all these people were like relating to the art piece, and it was just being reposted everywhere. And I think at that moment is when I realized, like, wow, this is something I could really touch people with, and I could do, and I could build from it. And from there I kind of started building not only my love for artwork, being able to spread it, and also building a business behind it as well.
When you see one of your paintings, you know that's Sue Tai's.
Yeah.
So how would you explain your style of painting and art?
I think it's just when you see my art, like I have very colorful, vibrant pieces. A lot of the themes that go into my pieces revolve around women and power. You know what I mean? So I have
Ladies
very
first,
female-driven art, and I think
yes.
that's what a lot of people relate to, especially females, but everyone else as well.
How did you and Wale link up? How did Wale,
Well,
discover you,
basically, he reached out to me, and he told me that he was a fan of my artwork, and he had this single that was coming out, and he wanted to see if I could create something for it. And so he sent me the song, and once I heard it, I fell in love with this song. Like, I love that song so much, and I listened to it like a couple hundred times at least. And probably within like 2 days, straight, I came out with that painting. I painted on my kitchen floor.
Did you?
Yeah, it's so crazy, and it's so funny because there was probably like 10 people. I think it was like Thanksgiving. It was some type of holiday, and I had a lot of people there, and I was just working, and everyone's like, "Oh, Sue's just painting." Like, they didn't even know that was about to be like a huge single cover. It was so funny, but yeah. So I sent it back to him, and he was like, he loved it, and next thing you know, it's the official cover.
So how long does it take for you to create a painting? Because I know a lot of your pieces, they're pretty large.
Yeah,
It's
they
not
are.
small
A lot of
pieces.
people think when they see the art, it might be like a small drawing,
Yeah,
or you know what I
yeah.
mean. They're actual large canvases, or murals or whatnot. But it depends. They usually take about 40 hours or so. Some are bigger,
Wow.
some are smaller. I don't necessarily always have to do it straight through, but I do focus on one piece at a time. I don't work on multiple things at the same time. I kind of have to. My mind is in that piece, and then I kind of stick through the whole thing.
I'm assuming that you sold some of your pieces as well, right? What would a typical Sue Tai painting go for if you were to sell it?
It's. I've been very blessed for it to change a lot within the past 2 years.
High up there.
So at this point in time, like today, average is probably around 5,000.
Wow.
The most I've done is one for 17,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Which one was that?
It's a commissioned artwork. You haven't seen it, but yeah.
Cool. I kind of want to talk about also the inspirations, your art inspirations, who you've looked up to in the past. Maybe name a few that you admire, or pieces of work that you absolutely love as an artist.
I have so many favorite artists. Everyone kind of brings different aesthetics. So I'm a big fan of Banksy, obviously, on the street art side. I'm a big fan of Murakami for his colors and the how clean his artwork is. This Japanese artist named Yayoi Kusama. She does a lot of vibrant, I relate to colors, and these are artists that, I really look up to. And I have this one piece, it's called Art About Art. I pay homage to basically all my favorite contemporary artists, and I put my style into it, but it incorporates all their styles into one painting. So Jeff Koons is in there, Damien Hirst, a lot of my favorite artists in one painting. No, that's one of my favorite pieces. That's the one painting that I have that's like not for sale. I have like 3 of them.
And what are the other 2? Can you share?
The Love Saves one.
Okay.
Which is it's the girl with the heart coming out of her head, and that was like the picture that kind of went super viral. Like Rihanna posted it, and Meek Mill, and that was the one that gave me that like kind of first big step. And
I love the heart one you did.
Oh, which one?
You kind of made a mold out of it for Art Basel. It was like it's just
just a sitting heart. It becomes like he's like one of my characters.
Yeah. Oh, your heart.
Yeah,
the heart.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I
use that. It's just represented a representative of just a human, like a soul, like a being. You know, it's not a man, it's not a woman, it's just a heart, and he goes. I have him in all different types of paintings. I have him where he's getting his heart broken and when he's healing.
Yeah.
And then now, as you've seen for Art Basel, I've kind of stepped into a little bit of sculpture.
Yes.
So I just started doing that this year to kind of just be outside of the box and kind of try new things.
What do you think it is about being a woman, being an artist that makes you so unique, and even the obstacles that you go through and trying to put your work out there?
I think as a woman, sometimes our emotions are so complex and it's really hard to explain into words sometimes. Like, yes, like songs can reflect how a woman feels, but it's like, it's so hard to capture. And like art, when it's visual, you don't really have to say anything, but you could just show it. And every woman has their own interpretation of that emotion and that piece and how it relates back to them. And when you're able to perceive it how yourself, and it's unlike anyone else's, I think that's how you really relate to it, because it's not telling you how to feel, it's you connecting with that piece.
And I think everyone's connected with your work, and what makes it so special is because you have that kind of personal, abstract, relatable, I guess, sense to each of the pieces that you create, which is so dope. I know one of the biggest fans of your work is also Swizz Beatz. I've noticed that you guys have taken a few I follow you on Instagram, so I see you posting pictures on the gram with him and stuff. Do you guys, he tends to have people over his house, I hear, and you guys they just go off and they just paint artwork. Have you ever done that with him?
I haven't been able to yet. We've planned something, but we haven't actually done it yet. I just saw him in Basel, and he just got a piece for me. It's actually one of my favorites. He's probably the only person I would have sold it to.
Yeah,
it's another one of those. But I'm gonna probably be part of his collection at the Scope Show in New York.
Fantastic.
So that'll be really dope.
And when is that happening?
That's in March.
That's in March.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You're like a mini little empire.
I have like a little department store.
Yes. It's like I'm clicking on a bunch of things. You get iPhone cases, pillows, sweatshirts, which you brought me one. I got to show this on camera, which I love. And maybe if I show this, then people will actually be more familiar with what you've done. I absolutely love this
one of my
piece.
favorite pieces. This one's called Galaxy. This was inspired by a quote that I had read, and it's when was the last time someone ran their fingers through the knots of your soul?
Wow.
Yeah, it's super deep and intense, and that like
that just struck a chord.
Yeah, so that's where that painting came from, and that's why so many women love that.
Yeah, well, I love it. Is this one of your best pieces I've sold on the website, or?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
So what else are you working on? Like I see a ton of stuff on your website.
So my website is basically all my merch. I sell prints. I have the iPhone cases. I have clothes. So these are all things that are through my brand that I do on my own. And then I'm working on a couple of collaborations with outside companies. I just had a big collaboration with Juliet Vaca. This past year we did a World Cup bottle. We did the F1. The racing bottle, and then so coming this year, I have my second capsule with Young and Reckless out in LA, and I love them. Like,
yes.
So that's it'll be really good for Cali. It's a whole different vibe. And I'm working on something with Married to the Mob with Leah, and I love her. So that should be really, really dope when it does come out.
And as Sue Tai is painting, right? What is the preparation, and are you listening to any music while you're doing it, or what are you even
music
listening
is
to now?
is the number one thing. Like, that's my must. I have to have like the music vibes.
And what's playing?
But what's playing is always completely random. Like I'll listen to like YG and Party Next Door. I listen to a lot of Kanye, Wale, obviously, and then I have days where I'm like Coldplay, Lana Del Rey. So it's like a very eclectic. It really depends on my mood, but. It's music is like my number one thing, and then sometimes I'll have glass of wine or candles. I'm all about the vibe. So if you ever see my studio, it's very like artsy. Like it's dim, and then I have just a light on the canvas, and I have like lights all around, and I need that to be mind to where I want to.
No, yeah, you want to be in a peaceful space
Yeah.
and clear your mind as you're painting. So I totally get it. We're gonna try something new on Ladies First that I think women would absolutely enjoy, and men too if you're watching. It's called This or That. So Sue, I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions, and it's kind of rapid fire questions. So whatever comes to your mind first, just say it. Okay,
right.
it's this or that. Either one,
I'm
okay?
nervous. Okay.
Okay. And Banksy or Basquiat?
Banksy.
Salvador Dali or Picasso?
Dali.
Biggie or Tupac?
Biggie.
Beyonce or Jennifer Lopez?
J-Lo.
Beer or champagne?
Champagne.
Boy shorts or thong? Don't kill
Boy
me.
shorts. That's not bad.
Olivia Pope from Scandal or Cookie from Empire?
Olivia Pope.
Sex in the City or Orange is the New Black?
Sex and the City.
Pretty Woman or Clueless?
Clueless.
Skinny dipping in a public pool or tan naked on a public beach?
Tan naked on a public beach.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I grasp what that really even.
Yeah, I feel a little uncomfortable. But a muscular man or an average Joe?
I like average.
What's worse on a guy, chest hair or back hair?
Back hair.
I hate that
Definitely.
too. More embarrassing, walking in on your parents or your parents walking in on you?
Walking in on me. I'd rather see them than them see me. Definitely.
It's so awkward, okay? And last one. If you had to be stuck on an island with someone for 6 months, would it be your friend Swizz Beatz or your friend Wale?
Honest, I'd have to say Wale. I'm closer with him. I know him better for us to be able to stuck on that. I don't know if Swizz Beatz is going to be able to take me for 6 months on an island.
Okay. No disrespect, Swizz. She loves you
I
either
know,
way.
I still love you, but I don't know. 6 months is a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time, but I'm sure you guys will get along fine. Thank you, Sue, for taking part in this or that.
That was fun.
And now we're going to unveil a dope painting you created for Hot 97, and we're going to have you talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's unveil it. It comes down. Look at that, guys. An original Sue Tai piece for Hot 97. Can't we say that?
Yay.
This is like history making and stuff too, in a way. It's fantastic. Dope. Talk about it.
Thank you. So, when you said you wanted a piece for Hot 97, like when I think of Hot 97, I think of, basically the hip hop radio station, New York. And with that, I thought of Biggie and, so I took the Biggie inspired from, the Ready to Die album cover that everyone knows. And I did with the Hot 97 balloons. I have a lot of paintings that represent like balloons and uplifting, and I just really like them. And coincidentally, 97 also happens to be the year that Biggie passed.
Oh,
so
that's
it all kind
right.
of ties together, with Hot 97 and then him passing in 97 and kind of, leaving his legacy. I did the space helmet. Kind of it just represents, as he doesn't have a face, it kind of represents the whole generation and seeing, peace and love and just unity, and that's what he sees in the vision of the helmet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love this.
Thank you.
And the creative process behind it. It's not just like you threw Biggie's, the baby and just 97 up there.
Yeah.
Just like this whole meaning behind it.
Not necessarily the actual artwork, like the painting and the manual, the labor behind it. It's the thought process that goes into it, and every piece that I make is completely different, and they all have a lot of more depth than what you see, and there's thoughts behind it and everything like that. So
Well, we thank you so much.
thank you. It was an honor.
It's a one-of-a-kind piece for sure. So now everyone that walks through Hot 97 can take a look at this and see Sue Tai on the wall. All right, Sue, it's going up. Looks good.
Yeah.
How you feel? Now you're a part of
Yeah, it's
history.
amazing.
This will
Excited.
forever live in the Hot 97 studios. Looks so good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is amazing.
All right, let them know where you can find all your stuff at.
My website is Sue Tai at SueTai.com, and all my social media is Sue Tai at SueTai.
Remember, check out another episode of Ladies First coming soon.